opening our eyes right now in the present and seeing and accepting that what's around us is not what we want or desire right now. What's shaking? Welcome back to All In. I'm your host, Rick Jordan, and right off the bat, I'm going to ask you to share this episode with at least 3 people. We don't take sponsors. We don't advertise for this. The only way we grow is by you. So I'm asking for your help to share this with at least 3 people. It's the only way that we can help more and more and more. And you're going to love this episode. Or you know what? You might actually hate it because this is going to be a bit of a wake-up call for a lot out there today. And why do I know that? Because when I first started grasping these concepts, it was a wake-up call for me, and it's something that I almost have to set my metaphorical alarm to wake myself up every now and then, week after week, month after month, year after year. Today, we're going to talk about doing the hard things. What do you mean doing the hard things? Who likes to do hard things? You know, there's a time in my life and to push myself further and further where I would intentionally place really complicated, disgusting, hard-ass stuff in front of me to help push myself further. I would almost like create these impossible scenarios in business and in life to help myself overcome and learn new skill sets and push through and keep moving on. And that was something that I created by myself to be able to do these things. And there's a concept that I learned from this that it generated momentum for me. It helped really kind of pull me forward. And let me discern that a little bit between pulling me forward and how I see pushing yourself forward, right? So what I would do, I wouldn't depend on like something to push me forward, you know, because pushing yourself, I see as sitting in the gym, you know, because I lift and like saying, you know what, I'm going to bump up the dumbbells another 5 pounds a day. I'm really going to push my muscles to the point of failure today because it's like a present thing. It's in the present tense, pushing yourself right there in that moment, whatever you're doing, whatever you want to make hard for you right then, to help move you to the next level. That pushing yourself is like right now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push myself. But what I'm talking about as far as doing the hard things is taking a look at maybe 6 months down the road and a year down the road and being like, where do I want to be? What do I feel that I want to be sitting in or doing in that moment when it comes to that point? Because at that point, it's gonna be present tense and I can push myself. But when I do that and I put things out in the future and I start to put things in place like targets and goals and saying, this is what I want to create for myself. Then with that being out there, saying this is something that I'm visualizing. Some people will call this visualization too. And I think it's an important exercise. For me, I kind of do it. And something for me is that if I don't literally see myself, if I can't close my eyes and see myself in that scenario, then I know it's not right for me. But if I close my eyes and I can see myself standing with the surroundings, the people, the things going on, the success, then I know that that's a direction that I need to go. That's what works for me. But when I create these scenarios that are actually in the future, these goals, these targets, whatever you want to call them, these become something that then pull me forward. It's almost as if I'm setting this thing up and I like tethered myself to that 6-month mark in the future or a year from now, or, well, you know, I don't really think out 5 years. So I'm just going to be straight up with that. I was doing an interview the other day and I hate the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing because who even knows what 5 days from now is, right? But I think you can set yourself up for success. I know you can 6 months out, a year out and say, this is what I want to create for myself this year within the next 6 months. Here's where I want to be. This is what I want surrounding me. This is the environment I want to have. And in order to get there, there's going to be some hard shit that I'm going to have to do. It's just going to be that way. And let me clarify what I mean by doing the hard things, because there's one specific thing that we'll talk about today where it's the hardest, the most difficult thing to do for yourself. So I create these scenarios and then it pulls me forward. I create this environment and put things in motion to where momentum builds, and that target, that goal begins to pull me forward. If you can right now, imagine, just close your eyes and imagine where you want to be. Imagine sitting back in your chair or in the gym, if you're losing weight right now, just imagine yourself sitting there on a bench or on a Peloton. And you might be 20 pounds heavier right now, but imagine yourself sitting on that Peloton, lifting those weights, whatever it is for you that you do, or eating healthy foods, and you're sitting there and you're 20 pounds lighter. Imagine that right now. Can you feel it? Now you've got the image. Or imagine yourself in freedom from a toxic relationship. You're surrounded with nothing but happiness and joy because those energy sucks, whoever, whatever it was, are not around you right now. Imagine yourself sitting there. Or maybe it's a new house, or maybe it's a big move across the country. Imagine yourself in that new city, in that new house right now with your eyes closed. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? Now, since you've done that, this is something that can pull you forward. But there's some hard things in your way first. Let's talk about those, because you're saying, well, I don't necessarily want to do the hard things. A lot of people don't, for real. But here's what you're saying. It's like, I don't want to do the hard things, right? But that's like saying, I don't want to accomplish what I want. I don't want to create what I want. Is that really what you're saying when you're like, I don't want to do this? I don't want to get stronger. I don't want to have a healthy relationship. I don't want to make more money. I don't want to lose weight. That's what you're saying when you're like, man, this is too hard. Stop making the excuse. Because that's actually not the hard part. Is actually doing the work sometimes doesn't have to be the hard part. The hard part, you ready for this? Here's the hard part, is opening your eyes and realizing your reality right now. Actually recognizing, do you hear that? Opening your eyes and realizing your reality. Accepting your reality right now. The hard part is not keeping those blinders on, not putting a blindfold on, and opening your freaking eyes to say, this is what's really going on. Not blocking out all the stuff you're going through right now and saying, someday I'm going to change. Right? But you don't have that target in front of you. You don't have that reality that you want to create, that vision 6 months and a year out to help pull you forward. If you can stop for a minute and see yourself there in that place, creating what you want, then that's what's going to bring you forward. Stop where you're at right now, close your eyes, and imagine yourself in what you want to create. Then open your eyes and look around. Does your environment look like where you just were 6 months out? Does the people that you are surrounding yourself look like the people where you saw yourself and what you created 6 months out? Is what you're doing, does that look like what you were doing in that visualization 6 months out? I'm gonna guess no. That's usually the case because it's difficult to see where you're at right now and accept your reality if you don't actually picture what you want to create. That's what you have to fix your mind on, is what you want to create. And that's the hardest part, is coming back and being like, oh, damn. What's around me right now does not look like what I just saw in my head. That's the toughest part. So if you don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I'm not going to sit and look out in the future and figure out what I actually want to create or even think about that, because you know what? I just got too much stuff going on right now and my life is too hard. You know, I'm sorry. Is that what you want to portray to your friends, to a partner, maybe to your kids, is to say that I'm just going to sit in a place of avoidance of my reality right now? People say things are hard as if it's not a reason to do them. That's bullshit. Hard things are what makes us stronger. Hard things, which is opening your eyes and accepting your reality and recognizing that what you see around you right now, the people, what you're doing, where you're living, is not what you saw in your head that you want to create 6 months and a year out from now. We can't get stronger and we can't take that first step if we don't do this one hard thing of opening our eyes right now in the present and seeing and accepting that what's around us is not what we want or desire right now. There's a coach of mine that's a Navy SEAL, and in a funk of mine, yes, I get into funks too. In a funk of mine, I started looking at all these things because I had already visualized this stuff out there, right? I had already said, this is where I want to be. I see myself. I've created this in my head. I can visualize this 6 months out from now, 12 months out from now, meaning a year out from now. And he asked the question, he's like, what if the road between, what would be possible for you if the road between here and 6 months out from now was actually easy? It's like, whoa, hello, wake up call. Like the actual steps that I need to take to put that into motion because it's literally pulling me towards it actually are easy. I was like, now that I think about it, the stuff that I actually have to do to get there is actually not that daunting. It's not difficult because I can see myself doing those things. But the place where I was stuck was looking around me at the current problems right now and not accepting where I was at and saying, I'm not where I want to be. If you can't open your eyes now, there's no way that you're ever going to be able to create what you want. That's the brutal reality. So right now, stop trying to make it easy. Easy is closing your eyes. Easy is avoiding. Easy is pretending like the people and where you're living and all of these other things, what you're doing, are not reality right now. You are disassociating yourself from reality by closing your eyes. And you will never be where you want to be in what you create 6 months out from now. If I gave you a pill right now to give you, that would like transport you into the future, right? Into 6 months into what you want to create, that immediate transformation would not do you any good either. Because you would create the same turmoil 6 months out from now and blow that visualization straight to hell because you didn't actually have to overcome the ability right now to open up your eyes and realize that where you are right now is not where you want to be. The people that you have around you right now are not the people that will be around you where you want to be. What you are doing right now is not what you're going to be doing necessarily 6 months out from now in what you want to create. The hardest thing in your self-growth, in creating what you want, is accepting where you are right now. So do the hard thing and open your eyes.